You beautiful people. Welcome back to my channel. I guess you can call it a podcast. You guys, we are here to do episodes 2 and 3, or is it 3 and 4 of All the Queen's Men. I'm going to do two at a time. So I believe I did 1 and 2, if I'm not mistaken. So I'm going to do 2 and 3. Um, Y'all, shout out to Bobby Ray, who recently commented on that video because y'all, I was gonna let it go. Or either I was just gonna do one big video and talk about the whole entire season, which I would actually like to do that. But Bobby Ray asked if I was gonna do the different episodes or whatever, so I'm gonna do it. Shout out to you, Bobby Ray. I got you. If you are here and you're just watching this video, go ahead and subscribe so that you can know when I drop my next videos. Hit the notification bell. If you are here and you are a subscriber, hey. And if you have not already subscribed, please consider doing so. I would appreciate it. Like the video, comment, let's talk about some things. It's good for my analytics, and let's get started. We're going to get started with 3. All right, y'all. We start off episode 3 with what's his name? Midnight and the baby mama. I can't remember her name right now. But they're talking and she's asking, "Did you do it?" He's like, "Yeah, I did it." She's like, "However, can I repay you?" Bitch, my money. What was it supposed to be, $10,000 or something like that? That's how you can repay me. And she's like, "Well, I gotta wait and get the insurance money, and I'm gonna get it to you." Okay, fine, get it to me. And then this broad is like, "Oh, you gonna go to bed?" I'm like, ew, she is just nasty all around. I swear to God, something's wrong with her. And he was like, "Girl, if you don't get out of here." Then we have Amp, who y'all know I can care less about. Amp and his girlfriend at the hospital. Um, she sees that he is no longer hooked up to anything, pretty much. So she starts panicking. All right, so now we're at Madam's house where Tommy is trying to get her to eat. And y'all, when I tell you Tommy is my favorite of all time on this show, he's my favorite of all time on this show. So she finally sits down to eat and then she gets a phone call. It's Christian. I can't remember what his name is on here. So right now I'm just gonna call him Christian. So he's telling her to turn on the TV. She turns on the TV, you see the bombing of the halfway house. And he's like, "You've been busy, huh?" "Well, what are you talking about? Why are you asking me to look at this?" "Oh, yeah, everybody has Ring cameras. And, so basically, I took care of it. And the only one they see coming out is Billy." And she's like, "Okay, thank you." He's like, "You are just really being reckless. And you are important to your organization and mine. So I feel like you need to be a little more careful. Let me help you out. Tell me when you need some things handled or whatever." And she's like, "Well, let me tell you this. Anytime someone steals from me, I'm gonna want to fuck them up and kill them. So there you go." And he's like, "We got to work on that." So he's telling her, "I got eyes on the guy named Billy who got her $2 million." And she's like, "Okay, I'm on my way." "Nah, nah, nah. You sit back and relax for a little bit." She's like, "Nah, I just said I'm on my way." He's like, "No." So they have this whole push and pull thing, which obviously you can tell there's so much chemistry going on here. All right, so he tells her that he has a car that's gonna pick her up because he wants her to go somewhere. She's like, "Nah, I gotta go see my nephew." He's like, "Oh, Amp. Yeah, you'll be back in time to go see him or whatever. I ain't gonna keep you long. I'll send the car." So basically, she kind of had no choice. And she's like, "Where are we going?" "You'll see." So they end up, you guys, I'm just gonna jump ahead. They end up going to the White House, according to them, and meeting the president. And who else is there? Oh my God, it is the judge and her husband. So he is hobnobbing with all of the people that are to be known, and the judge is like, "Oh, you know him?" "Yeah, she know him. She knows him." Yeah, I'm so gangster. So Madam goes to the hospital and she sees, I think her name is Storm. Or Storm? Yeah, I think her name is Storm. But she sees the girlfriend and she's in the hallway and she's like, "What's going on?" "Oh, he started crashing because when I woke up, everything was unhooked. He ended up crashing." But the doctors are in there now. So she goes in, they're trying to resuscitate him and whatever. And oh my God, he comes to. But not only does he come to, you guys, he's awake and talking. Like, it's a goddamn miracle. And I was just like, "Come on, Amp. We need you out of here." That's not nice. But y'all know I don't like Amp. But I will say this. Even though this whole show has become very, very Tyler Perry-ish. And listen, I love Tyler Perry as a person, but his shows and writing and everything, it leaves a lot to be desired. And I feel like that's why it's taken me so long to do more of the reviews because uh, God, I just didn't even want to watch the rest of it. But once I started watching it, I binged it, and of course, you get into the little stories or whatever. But it just wasn't as good as last season. But that's fine. But anyway, he comes to, and he's perfectly fine. We find out who was taking care of him. Why was his stuff, unhooked and everything? So she goes to the nurse's station, Madam does, and she's like, who was taking care of him last night? Oh, we can't tell you that, we can't tell you that. But they just so happen to have a bunch of pictures of all the nurses on the board. And she sees the girl's mom, the one that he killed, his ex girlfriend, or had the accident with. And she's like, okay, gotcha. So she ends up going to find the lady, the nurse, and the nurse is just like, I didn't do it, even though I wanted to. Like, he's the devil, and if I wanted to, I absolutely could have. I was like this close to doing it, and of course, she's just like, listen, leave him alone. And the lady gives her some stuff about getting her life together and all that. But listen, nurse lady, she ain't playing no games. All right, so Madam tells the nurse lady, listen, if Amp so much as gets a headache, I'm coming to you and I'm gonna fuck you up. And the lady was like, I'm just gonna wait and see how God deals with you. But yeah, it's funny because my baby had an issue at work a couple weeks ago. And when I tell you I was on my way up there and I was just like, oh, I'm gonna fuck her up. It's so funny. I just kept saying the same thing. Wasn't funny because even though she's 24, I don't really like to do all the cursing and everything around her. But when I tell you somebody's messing with your kid, no, I'm gonna fuck her up when I get up there. And she's like, don't come up here, don't come up here. But yeah, so when she said that, I was just like, ooh, that was me. All right, you guys, I may just end up having to do them separately because I'm not good at doubling up like some people. Like, I just tell way too much of what's going on, but sorry, that's just kind of how I do. So I'm already at 7 minutes, so it may end up just being episode 3 right now, and then 4 tomorrow or whenever. But we're backstage with the strippers, and we have Babyface telling the men about the $10,000 lady and the fact that he was doing it with her, and then the husband wanted to get involved, and he was like, nah. And then he's like, if any of y'all wanna, and they like, nah, ain't none of us about that. Then Madam comes in and she lets them know that Amp is not gonna be there. They like, what's up with that? Nothing. And then I'm not gonna be here either, so y'all can tip out with Blue. And they're like, what's up with that? She's like, just do what I say do. And of course, they're like, okay. All right, so back in the office, we see Madam has changed her clothes. Blue comes in. She lets Blue know that she is going with the concierge. That's who asked her out. And she's like, you trust that nigga? Hell no, I don't trust him. But gotta go. Gotta go do this. So Blue is so fun. So she's asking Blue what happened with Cat because Blue is just looking off. And through this whole season, Blue was just kind of off because, of course, we know she killed Cat. But Madam doesn't know she killed Cat yet. So she's just like, I'm fine, or whatever. And she's like, she don't like him. Blue don't like him. And she's like, ugh, I got bad news. And she's like, his car is outside and it's actually nice. Yeah, Blue still cracks me up. Oh, so my faves will be Blue and Tommy then. All right, so we're back inside the club on the outside with the guys doing their dance. And of course, every episode you got to get, God dog it. All right, sorry about that. You got to get a full dance from the guys or whatever, which I normally fast for because it's not great. But we have Babyface going into the amateurs. And y'all remember the guy, the amateur that had the white girl or whatever? Well, y'all, he's so goofy. He's so goofy. But Babyface is talking to him about doing private dances and everything, and he's all like, "Okay, okay, I'll do whatever you say do." And the other guys are telling him, "You better watch him." And of course, he's just like, "One of the big guys are talking to me," so he's not really interested in what they're saying. Okay, so I forgot to actually add that we find out that Midnight is still tying off his thing. So Doc is telling him, "You're not gonna be happy until it falls off." So we have that, and then yeah, we have too many heart to hearts with these strippers. I'm sorry, this season we stayed in the back room with them talking just way too long. But we're back on the plane with Madam and the concierge, and they end up, of course, getting it on. So. All right, so back at the club, we have uh, Midnight in the champagne room, and he's up, well, upstairs in VIP rather, and he's up there with the baby mama, and she's like, "Yo, why you lie to me? Why you tell me you killed him and you didn't?" And he's like, "Because why you lie to me? You did that crap to yourself. Like you crazy." He had a video showing that you did it to yourself, and she's going off. He's of course just like, "You need to get out of here." Then Dot comes and he's like, "You pressing up on my girl?" And I'm like, "You claiming her?" But anyway, so they start fighting, and they end up going through the roof or the window of the VIP and falling into the main area, and that is where episode 3 ends, you guys. So let me see. I might be able to squeeze in episode 4 real quick. Let's see if I can stomach it. That's not nice. But y'all tell me what y'all think. Do y'all feel like this season was as good as season 1? Like honestly, these storylines and this acting and just the writing or whatever, it's very very different. And yeah, y'all let me know what y'all think. Am I crazy? All right, so starting episode 4. They are getting back Madam and the concierge, who actually, she lets him know, "Listen, I know that you don't work for, I think it's Raphael DeMarcus. You are the man. You're not working for the man, you are the man." And he kind of smirks and laughs or whatever. So I guess he really is the guy. And she's like, "I see how everybody, respects you and everything. So you're the man." And she's like, "Listen, I appreciate the ride and all this stuff or whatever." And he's like, "And the diamonds?" And she's like, "What diamonds?" So he opens it and there's a diamond necklace. And she's like, "Listen, I'm not a hoe." So he ends up asking her, "Where did that come from?" And she's like, "I'm just saying, I only slept with you on the plane because I wanted to. But all this other stuff, it's going to be a no for me." She gets out. He's intrigued or whatever. But she goes into the club and sees that all hell has broken loose while she has been gone. Yeah, so Madam ends up grabbing a shotgun because when she walks in, everybody is fighting, is just crazy in there. So she does the uh she shoots it at the roof or whatever, and then she tells everybody, "We're officially closed. Everybody that worked for me, come stand right here." So they're all standing there, and I promise you, they had her say or ask about 1,200 times, "So what's going on in here? What the fuck is happening here? What's happening here?" Nobody's saying anything, and I'm like, "Okay, can we stop saying what's happening here? Jesus, Tyler." All right, y'all. I'm gonna try to stop talking about it, but you could just tell. So, finally, Tommy, "I'll tell you what happened," and I'm like, "Why does he talk like that?" "I'm gonna tell you what happened. So these two were in the VIP, fighting over some tips, and this is, they came crashing through the roof or whatever." And he's like, so after she gets on everybody and everything or whatever, and she tells everybody to clean it up, he says that he could fix the roof and everything. So Trouble is like, "Hold on, dude. So you're a chef. You can do pretty much everything at this point." And that's exactly what I was thinking. Like, this dude just does whatever is needed to be done. That's the kind of man I like. Y'all, Po Trouble can't get no respect in this place. So the guys are mad at her because they said she's the one that started it. You the one that came back in there telling people that, your guys up there with your girl and everything. So you started all this. So Madam comes off the stage and she's like, "Move, Trouble." And I'm like, dang. So Trouble talks to Tommy and she's like I said, she's like, "You the bouncer, the bodyguard, the chef, and now you fix roofs? Damn." And she's like, "What else do you do?" This fool says, "I'll knock a bitch out if I have to." And he's like, "And I mean it." She's like, "Okay, damn, nigga." And I'm like, where did that come from? Not a good look, Tommy. You talking about hitting women because she's still a woman. This fool gonna say, "Hey." She's like, "Yeah." You like cookies? And he pulls out a baggie of cookies and gives it to her because don't forget he's a chef. So back in Madam's office, she has Doc and Midnight, and she's like, "What's happening?" And she's looking at Doc, and Doc is like, "Ask him." She's like, "But I'm looking at you, Doc." And he's like, "I don't know. He was in VIP with my girl." And so she turns to Midnight, and she's like, "So you fucking with his money?" And he's like, "No, no." So he ends up telling what happens. You know what happened, and the fact that Teresa lied and all this. He saw the videotape. The husband ended up crying and everything because he was just so hurt. And she's like, "So why did she come up here?" And she's like, Doc, I'm not Doc. Midnight was like, "I guess she came up here to check me because the police are after her or whatever." And he's like, "That's when he walked in." And she's like, "Listen, both of y'all are mine. So basically, y'all brothers. Y'all both belong to me. So fix it." So she walks out, and Doc just ain't having it. Like, he's not trying to be cool with him. All right, y'all. So, Madam goes into the hallway to talk to Blue and find out what was she thinking. Like, what's happening with you? Why do I leave you in charge and then all hell breaks loose? Like, what's up? You're not on your game. And she tells her she's grieving. She still doesn't tell her what happens. What happened or whatever. But they have Victor. What's his name? Victor Billy. And he's like over some acid or whatever. And you guys, this is where the story just goes downhill for me. I'm sorry, it just does. And I kind of just want to bypass all this BS with this whole storyline of the money and everything. Okay, so I'm just going to do this real quick, and I am going to be putting in everything that happens down the line with this storyline because I don't give a shit. Like, it's just an awful storyline. So he's basically going back and forth. Like, he's not going to tell them anything, not going to tell them anything. Finally, he tells them exactly where the money is. It's in some pound, some car pound or whatever. Okay, fine. So they end up still burning him to death or whatever, or putting him in whatever it is. And he knew it was going to happen. So all right, so Blue ends up going to this pound or whatever, and it is locked. It has all this infrared stuff going on, dogs everywhere and everything. So she ends up camping out all night. She ends up drugging the dogs in the morning or whatever and finding her way in. Suddenly, oh my God, she's surrounded by all these rednecks. All right, back at the club. I guess I am going to go back to it, you guys. Back at the club because this part was funny to me. Back at the club, we have Babyface talking to the guy, the goof troop or whatever, about getting with him later. And then there's a guy out there telling him once again, you need to watch him. Don't really trust him. And then Tommy is running around, just walking around the club or whatever. I guess he's leaving, but he runs into Trouble, and she is having sex with a girl outside, and he's like, "You ain't even gonna stop, huh?" She's like, "Look at her, would you stop?" And he's like, "But how are you doing that?" And she's like, "With my dick." And he's like, "But I'm so confused." And I was too. I was like, what the heck is happening here? All right, so we back at Madam's house. She's getting into bed, and she calls Tommy. This fool comes running in butt ass naked, and he got a shotgun in front of him, or a rifle or something like that. And she's like, "Why are you naked?" "Madam, you know I sleep like this." "Okay." He's like, "What do you need? Do you need something?" She's like, "I have a headache and I need you to go see my dad tomorrow." He's like, "Okay, but is that gonna help your headache?" And she's like, "No." And then she asks, "Listen, am I a good person?" He's like, "Yeah, hell yeah." And she's like, "Yeah, I just don't know." And he's like, "Why are you doing this to yourself?" Because she was saying that she feels like sometimes she should really stop. And he's like, "No, you can't stop. You got us holding you up or whatever." And I'm like, or is she holding y'all up? I don't know. But they're having this heart to heart. And then this fool is like, "Would you like me to fuck you?" And she's like, "No, I would not like you to fuck me. Like, who would it be for, me or you?" And he does this rolling of the eyes where he looks up, and I'm just like, this fool is so stupid. And so she basically is just like, "Listen, just go get me some Tylenol and put a towel on." All right, y'all. So this gonna be easy, because we have Amp and his girlfriend. Her name, I don't think it's Storm. I think it's Freak. I thought I just knew. I don't know. But we're not talking about them. So I am definitely fast forwarding that part. I'm sorry. I don't care about Amp. He's feeling better, I guess. Um, so then we have Christian. He calls Madam, and apparently she likes him because she's all smile. She's all smiles when she talks to him. And he asked her to go riding. Didn't I just do that last night? On a horse. Didn't I just do that last night? And he's like outside. And so, of course, she's going to go riding with him. All right, y'all. Amp was discharged. The end. All right, so back at the club, Babyface is talking to the chocolate sister with the hair to the side that has a husband, the white husband that would like to do things with the men. And he's like, I can do it for 10,000, but I'm only doing you. And I'm like, dumbass, that ain't what she want. Like, it's 10,000, I'm sure, because you'll be doing both of them, and that's not in the norm, so they're paying you well. Like, duh. And he's like, okay, I think I can find somebody who will do your husband or whatever. And she's like, okay, cool. And then we have the thing with Blue going in, and then we see that she's surrounded by people. And that was the cliffhanger for episode 4. All right. Excuse me. If you all are still here, you are the real MVP. Thank you very much. If you have not already, please like, comment, and subscribe. And I will see you guys in the next video where apparently I'll be doing 2. So we gonna knock these out, y'all. But y'all, really, 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 I need somebody to let me know. Even though Bobby Ray let me know that I think he or she also agrees with me that it wasn't as good as the first season, or it's not as good as the first season, but it turned out to be fine. It's fine. Like, as long as you can fast forward through Amp and some of the other things. And low key, spoiler alert, I ended up liking Amp in the end, and his acting actually got better later on. So I will see you guys in the next video, you guys. Smooches.